All right, so the last story here, the U.S. and Japan to strengthen military ties. So next month, the U.S. and Japan are expected to announce the most significant change to their military alliance since the 1960s, which was when they signed their Mutual Defense Treaty. And this is as the U.S. is bolstering its forces in the region to prepare for a future war with China. So according to Financial Times, the U.S. and Japan will unveil a plan to restructure the U.S. military command in Japan to strengthen operational planning and exercises between the two nations when Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida visits the White House on April 10th. So that's just a couple weeks away. He's going to be in D.C. And there's not too much detail about what this will mean. The only thing the report really says is that it will give the head of U.S. Forces Japan more authority to coordinate with Japan's military rather than having to go through U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, which is based in Hawaii. So other details of the plan are unclear, but it could be related to Japan increasing its military capabilities as the U.S. has been encouraging Tokyo to move away from its post-World War II constitution, which renounces war and says that armed forces with war potential should never be maintained. So some people call it a pacifist constitution, but they've kind of been moving away from this for a long time. And it was Shinzo Abe that really got the ball rolling, I think, in 2015. He was the Japanese prime minister who was actually assassinated and killed. It was after he was in office, but I forget. That was just was that a few years ago now when he was killed? But anyway, the current government, they've really ramped this up. And at the end of 2022, Japan announced it was increasing its military budget by 56%, and that they're going to acquire Tomahawk missiles, which will be the longest range missiles that they have. They have a range of over 1,000 miles. And this, again, goes against this pacifist constitution that was imposed on Japan by U.S. occupation forces, but now the U.S. is encouraging Japan to build up its military, and it's all about China. Japan has said so explicitly, just like the U.S., that this is about China. So this is something to keep an eye on, and a lot of people don't realize that the largest foreign military presence, the largest foreign U.S. military presence is in Japan. It hosts over 53,000 American troops, and about 70% of the U.S. bases in Japan are in Okinawa, and Okinawa only accounts for 0.6% of Japan's territory, so they take on most of the burden. And if you know anything about Okinawa, the people of Okinawa are very against this. They want a reduction in the U.S. military presence. It's causing all sorts of environmental damage, but that doesn't matter to Washington. That doesn't matter to Tokyo. They're actually forcing the construction of the relocation. Some U.S. base needs to be relocated. The governor refused to sign off on it, and the federal government, the Japanese central government, overrode the governor and started the construction. The governor of Okinawa is very against. He's very explicitly wants the U.S. to close down bases in Okinawa, but that doesn't matter. This is a very strategic location for the U.S., especially in a future war, if they fight a future war with China.